There is so many videos on YouTube about this topic. What I'm not going to do is make this video just one of them. I want to make sure that this is probably the only video you need to watch about this topic. If you are going through a breakup, if you're going through a separation in a marriage, if you're going through a divorce, if you've been begging, you've been pleading, you've been trying to save that relationship, if you've really gone beyond your standards, your integrity as a woman, this video is going to open your eyes, is going to change your life for better. And if you stick around until the third point, which is my personal story, then tell me in the comment section. This is really going to change your life. All right. Every single day, I'm talking to women from across the planet, every continent, every race, every age group, every relationship status. And I've come to conclusion that there's only three reasons, three underlying causes behind trauma bonding. Today, I'm not going to use one of my clients or my students' story. Instead, I'm going to use myself as a case study. Without wasting time, let's talk about the first underlying reason behind trauma bonding. In my experience, it always goes back to your childhood. So this one is going to be your childhood trauma. I've spoken to so many women. They were really honest with me. Some of them, they were, upfront, and they told me that they didn't really have a good, loving, caring upbringing as kids. So they had issues. They had, an okay or sometimes even bad relationship with their parents or one of their parents. This is where you are constantly trying to earn love from your parents. You are always told that you are the problem. You're always, the root cause. You are always the troublemaker. And all the times, or when something happens, you need to perform. You need to put on a show to your parents to get that yes from them, that, the nod from them, to get that, applaud from them, or to get that I'm proud of you or congratulations from them. Sometimes you don't even get it. So I've spoken to so many ladies, and I really came to conclusion that this is one of the biggest reasons or the underlying cause behind what later becomes a trauma bond with your partners and in your dating life or your relationship or your marriage. So if this happened to you, maybe you can relate. It's not necessarily that it happens to everybody. Maybe it did not happen to you. And that's going to take us to the second one, which is your past relationships. Now, if you take a few minutes and reflect your past relationships, you're going to notice a pattern. There was where a pattern was implanted, was formed. Let's say maybe you didn't have an issue in your upbringing with your parents. You didn't really have childhood trauma from your parents, and everything started from the reason number two, which is your past relationships. Now, take yourself back. Maybe this is your first boyfriend, or maybe this is your first marriage. Remember, when you lost confidence, when you started to question yourself, your existence, when you started to really feel insecure and always wants your partner to, approve you, to accept you, to make you feel loved, when did that begin? If you really take time and think, you're going to see where that pattern started from, okay? This probably there's a time maybe he cheated on you, or maybe you gained some weight and he started to tell you that, oh, you don't really look that attractive anymore. Something is wrong with how you look. Or he cheated on you with someone, or he was flirting with someone else, or he had an ex partner he kept talking to throughout the entire relationship. And that ex looked a certain way. And you started to be like, okay, I need to be like this. I need to speak like this. I need to show up like this. Or maybe he was verbal with it and he told you, hey, you're the problem. Narcissist people like to do that. They're going to manufacture your own profile. They're going to fake a profile about you, and they're going to convince you that you're the problem. If they couple narcissism with avoidance attachment, that's going to drive you even crazier. It's going to make you anxious you're going to grow an anxious attachment towards them. So you find yourself questioning yourself. This has happened to me personally. So I'm speaking from experience as well, where sometimes you're like, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe he's right. But then the next day or maybe after a week, you're like, but it doesn't make sense because I didn't do nothing wrong. This wasn't wrong. So I personally spoke to a lot of ladies who were even cheated on, right? They were cheated on so many times, but they still want to solve the relationship. They want to put it back together. They want to fix it. I currently have clients who, by the time they showed up, by the time they came to my sessions, they were like that. They wanna save the relationship, and I'm like, what are you trying to save it from? Why do you really wanna get this man back? What are you trying to get back? But in the moment, they don't really think about that. They're like, no, I just want to get him back, and I understand, because this is almost as same as an addict, someone who grew an addiction towards a drug, where they know the drug is dangerous. Sometimes they know, sometimes they don't even know. They know it's really not good for them, but they care about how they're feeling in the moment. They just want to silence that pain. There's a lot of pain growing inside of him. The brain is aware, the brain is conscious enough to know this is not good for me. This is not the best person for me. But the heart is telling you, no, listen, this is painful, this is hurtful, I don't care, just find a way to solve it. So that's what grows into what we call trauma bonding. You're trying to just survive. You're trying to silence the pain. And this is going to take us to the third reason, the third underlying root cause behind trauma bonding. In my experience, this is going to cover 70% level of influence behind trauma bonding formation. So a few years ago, I found myself in a relationship. I didn't really find myself in a relationship. I wanted it. I put in the work to get into that relationship. But let's talk about the few months before that relationship started. I was confident, right? I had my things going on. I was doing starting my business, and I had my work as well. Everything was just cool. I showed up confident. I was going to the gym. I'm looking handsome, blah, 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 confident, right? And things were just beautiful. And then the relationship started. In the beginning, the first few months, everything was still beautiful, right? I was doing my things. I was confident. I was showing up. Perfect. And like few months, 5-6 months in the relationship, something happened. I lost my job. My business started to go all the way down. Nothing was working. And I was, whatever that I was putting in the business was just collapsing. And I found myself, living in an apartment that wasn't really like, something, or a place where someone is supposed to be at. It was a 1-bedroom apartment, no windows, nothing. And I was living alone. I was in a different country. I was in China. And that time, all my friends that I had in China, they've left, they've gone back to their countries. So I just found myself alone, right? So no friendships, no work. I had some savings. My business was collapsing every single day. And for that reason, I started to have issues in the relationship as well. I just started to grow, to become anxious. I started to be more jealous. I started to be more demanding of closure and acceptance and love. And every time my girlfriend pulled away, it was for me, it was like the end of the world. So picture me staying in that 1-bedroom apartment, no windows, nothing, no friends. I just had my phone, internet. I'm scrolling and watching like 1,000 reels per day, 1,000 videos on YouTube per day. I was lost. I couldn't sit alone with myself for 5 minutes. I wanted to be distracted. So that turned me into someone who was constantly seeking for approval. I always wanted to be on the phone with my girlfriend. I wanted her to come over. I wanted to go to her place. She became my life. So this, obviously, you can tell it didn't go well, right? So this ruined the entire relationship. I didn't have nothing going on, and it affected everything. But in that period, every time something good happened in my life, let's say maybe something awesome happens in my business, maybe there's a sudden growth, maybe for a week or two, I was a different person. I wasn't that person constantly wanting to be on phone calls with her. I wasn't that person begging and jealous and whatever. If she speaks to someone, never. I was confident. And it's like tables actually turned. They flipped. It was actually her now wanting my time, wanting my, all that. And I was like, what's going on? So this is a pattern. And it kept going on and on and on and on. And we got to a point where the relationship was really like messed up. Like was I couldn't recover it. She didn't really want to be part of it anymore. And yeah, we broke up. So after that, I kept showing up. I kept doing like focusing on my business, everything, and eventually something clicked, and my business started to pick up, and things changed. And I was going to the gym again. I was happy. I changed my apartment. I'm living better. Everything. And she wanted to come back, and she wanted us to work on the relationship again. And that time I was healed, and I was like, no, I don't really want to go back. I feel like I want to focus on my life and my business right now. But she kept insisting, and I was glowing. I was magnetic. Like everything was different. I was more confident. I couldn't be that person who get easily jealous of, oh, why are you talking to this guy? No. Why didn't you, call me? Why didn't you text me? Like I wasn't that person. I was very different, and she could see the energy as well. So this story should teach you one thing. When your personal life disappears, you're going to develop what we call dependency. It turns into trauma bonding. And now you want to stick to a person, not because that person is good for you. In most cases, like what I was saying about my clients, some of them, they were cheated on, and you still want to stick with that person. I have a client who was really like verbally abused to the point, like if it was my sister or my mother, maybe that could have driven me crazy to think or do something crazy as well. But you still see those people wanting to go back. But some of them that I've worked with long enough, they change their minds. They start to grow self-love, self-esteem, self-respect. And they get to a point where now the coin has flipped, right? It's no longer them trying to get their man back. It's now the man begging because he can feel the shift. They're different. So what we call trauma bonding is pretty much just losing yourself. Is losing yourself, losing your entire life, and wanting to run into someone else's life you're seeking a rescue. You want to be rescued. You want to have a shelter. You want to have a refuge because you don't have an existing life. So let me ask you this. Let's say you are going through a breakup, very heartbreaking. Everything is falling apart, and now you just maybe get to find news that you get to know that the lottery ticket you bought like a few weeks ago, you won. And you're going to receive $5 million. I know this is not going to take away the pain and take away the sad story that your relationship is ending or your marriage is ending. But do you think you're really going to be as depressed and as, you're going to plead and beg and whatever, knowing that you have $5 million coming on your way? I really don't think so. It won't replace the relationship, obviously. Money is money. Relationships are, they're relationships. They're different. But it's not going to feel the same. Why? Because you have a sense of purpose. You have a sense of, you can see the future. You have hopes. There's possibilities. You have security. So you have something in your life that makes you feel like, you know what, the relationship is not working, but I have something else to run to, which is your life. It's fun enough, right? So I want to give you this as a takeaway. Your breakup, your current breakup, your divorce, your separation, it exposes the size of the life you've built outside the relationship. And the only solution to this is turning back to yourself, turning all the attention, all the focus, all the energy back to yourself, and making sure that the relationship with yourself is much better. It's fun to the point that you feel like you don't need another person. You can enjoy a good company. You can enjoy a good relationship that is adding something in your life, that is helping you to grow and to evolve. But you don't need a person because you have it enough. You're happier. You feel proud of yourself. Now, that is, in my experience, what I think is going to end the pattern, is going to end the cycle, and is going to make you feel better and actually make better decisions in the future when it comes to picking other partners. Because when you break the pattern, there's a realignment with people on the same level as you in terms of how you've healed, in terms of what you attract. All right, so I hope this video helped. I hope it kind of opened your eyes. I hope it was helpful. If you just found me for the first time, I upload videos twice a week. You can go ahead and watch other videos here because you're going to love them. Of course, remember to subscribe and give this video a like if it really helped you. And for those who are going through breakups and you really feel like you want to heal, but you also want to reattract your man back. You don't want to see entire relationship collapsing forever. You've invested a lot of things into it. You don't want to see it going, in vain. There's a link below this video in the description. Go click on that link. I'm going to help you to create the genuine reattraction. It's going to be a journey. It's going to take some time, but we're going to get there. There's a lot of women I've helped already. You're going to see some testimonials. Check the link below this video in the description. You can also see the pinned comment. I'm going to leave the link there. Now, I hope I'm going to see you next time. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like the video. And if there's anything you want to share, if there's a personal story that is something that you related to in this video, if there's something that I didn't touch, an angle that I didn't really, look at, you can tell me in the comment section. I'm going to love to see your comment as well. I'll see you next time.